I think it's really funny how Lakers really just have no defense, but they're still winning every game because Luka Doncic, LeBron, and Austin Reeves all on the court at the same time is pretty much a recipe for disaster for other defenses. But they genuinely can play defense. Like especially in the first quarter against us. It was 45 to 28. But then we won the second and the fourth quarter. Fourth quarter, 45 to 32. And I'm more talking good about the Pacers than actually talking bad about the Lakers because the Lakers still beat us, and Luca had a crazy game, which I will talk about here in a moment. And before I talk about Andrew Nemhard's spectacular night as well, I want to highlight some things. We had 8 players in double figures. Yes, we had 130 points. We had 8 players in double figures. McConnell, 17 points, 8 of 10. Shepard, 13 points, 4 of 6, made 4 threes. Walker had 15 points, also made 4 threes. Siakam fouled out, but he had 20 points and 8 rebounds. Nemhard had 14 points and 19 assists. Yes, you heard that right, 19 assists. We'll be talking about that. That's what the 19 is. And Obi Toppin at 15 off the bench. He made 1 3, had 3 steals, both 7 to 10 from the field. Overall, just honestly a great game from the Pacers. We shot 56%. They also did, but we made 16 threes, 78% from the free throw line. Honestly, we really lost because they had 11 more free throws than we did, and all they really needed to do was make 7 of them. And obviously, they were 82%, 28 to 34. Luca himself shot 10 free throws, was 9 of 10. LeBron was 5 of 5. Reeves was 9 of 9. So they really were just on the money with free throws. Luca, once again, he's he's nuts. 43 points, 6 rebounds, 7 assists. Austin Reeves at 25 and 8 assists. LeBron had a near triple double, 23, 9, and 9. He's just 41 years old and he's still dropping bombs like this. 9 of 17 shooting, so he's still shooting over 50%. And then Jackson Hayes at 21 and 10. Laravia was 3 of 3 from the field. He didn't really have to do much. Kennard, 8 points. Bronny James had 4, 2 steals and a block. Maxi Kleber had 2 points, 4 rebounds. Vanderbilt had 5 points and a rebound. Very good matchup. They did have more blocks, a few less assists because well, I mean, we had a guy with 19 himself, but they killed us on the rebounding again, 52 to 37. Once again, points in the paint. It's just that is probably the biggest thing we need to work on next year is to get more points in the paint because if we keep playing the way we are right now, we're getting nowhere. First things first, I want to talk about Luka Doncic. Now, yeah, he only needs to play 4 more games, of course, to pretty much be All NBA first team. And every year that he's been healthy, he's been All NBA first team. The kid is ridiculous. I mean, just some recent averages of last season. I'm gonna kind of not count in this because he wasn't necessarily healthy last year. He only played 50 games. The years he's played over 65, since the 65 game rule started, 32.4, 8 and 9, 33.9, 10 and 9, 33.6, 8 and 8. Those are his stat lines. And by thinking, well, points are good. Yeah, but this is also a point guard that's almost averaging a triple double by also being unathletic. Because Westbrook is one of the most athletic guards we've ever seen. And yes, he was averaging triple doubles, but he was also on 6 seed teams. Doncic is doing this on the third best team in the West with a 41-year-old sidekick who, mind you, is way too good for his age. We know this. He was way too good for any age that he's ever been. But Luka himself has just been nuts. It's been incredible to watch. Recently, he's kind of made it hard to really guess who's going to be the MVP. It's not just him. Wembanyama had 7 blocks last night, and he only played pretty much 3 quarters. He had a double double and then 7 blocks and had 3 steals and three assists. At some point he's gonna get a quadruple double. He just has honestly, if he just passes the ball a little bit more, he's gonna get a quadruple double at some point. And if he plays more minutes, because this season there's been way too many games where the Spurs have just been out mastering everybody. Especially that game against the Lakers where he dropped 40 in like 20 minutes. Yeah, he could have dropped 60 in that game easily if he would have played a little bit more. But he only played the first quarter, 9 minutes, and he played a little bit of the second, and he played a little bit of the third, and that was it. He was done. He played pretty much half a game. I think it was 24 minutes. But back to this game, Luca just showing that he pretty much deserves MVP this year. I think his numbers overall are better. Now, the argument for Shea is the fact that they are number one in the league, and Shea does that pretty much in 3 quarters. And yeah, that is true. And we can't even argue with like the free throw numbers or anything because Luca gets a lot of free throws as well. He's not as good of a free throw shooter, or else he would probably be averaging close to 40 a game. But this is going to be a fun MVP because there's 4 players that truly could, in my opinion, could win MVP, and I wouldn't be mad about it. And the first one, in my opinion, the first one is Luca, then it's Shea, then Jokic, then Wembanyama. Wembanyama, his numbers aren't, the same as the other 3 guys, but he pretty much brought the Spurs from 12th place last year to second in the West this year, and they've beaten the Thunder 4 times this year. So that's definitely something to be accounted for. He's also averaging 3 blocks a game, which I understand he's 7'4", but you're also telling me that Kristaps Porzingis has never even averaged more than 1.5. I mean, Bol Bol isn't doing this. Taco Fall wasn't doing this. Yao Ming wasn't doing this when he was in the NBA. So there's a lot of 7'5" guys that are really skilled, but yet still weren't averaging this amount of blocks. So that argument's just not, especially in this era where not a lot of people are driving to the paint, and Wemby's getting blocks on the perimeter. Yeah, no, that's crazy. Jokic obviously averaging a triple double. He's gonna average a triple double because I mean last night he had 23, 21, and 19 on one turnover. By the way, that's ridiculous. And the turnover was in the last minute of the game, which was actually sad to witness. Because I genuinely thought he was about to have like the craziest stat line with no turnovers. And we've seen Halliburton do a 2020 with no turnovers multiple times. But though any of those 4 names, I think I'll be fine, saying that. Fast breaks, buzzer beaters, and block parties are back, and Underdog is the best place to get in on all the action. Playing an Underdog is easy. Just choose whether your favorite players are going to go higher or lower on stats like points, rebounds, steals, or more. Get your pick track, you can win to 5,000 times your cash. Now, what are we gonna talk about today? There's only 3 games today, so let's just pick somebody. Unless we want to do MLB again, but honestly, I really don't want to. But we're gonna go with let's just go with the Knicks. Jalen Brunson and Karl Anthony Towns. Jalen Brunson 25.5, Karl Anthony Towns 20.5. I'm gonna go higher for Cat just because he has been putting up some ridiculous numbers recently, and the only person that could truly defend him on the Hornets is Diabate, and I still don't even think he's gonna really put up too much for work. Now Brunson, on the other hand, he's been kind of up and down in his scoring recently. He's been kind of going up, but at the same time, there's been games where he's just facilitating the game rather than actually passing, scoring, which I think is perfect for his play set because if more people actually play better outside of him, then Brunson's gonna play good because it's kind of like the Jokic factor. You cut Jokic's passing, and the Nuggets are useless. If Jokic gets less than 10 assists, there might be a guarantee that they're going to lose. That's kind of been the case with Brunson recently. Brunson facilitates more. Karl Anthony Towns has a big game. Josh Hart has a big game. Mikal Bridges has a big game. OG Anunoby has a big game. So I'm going to go for him lower this one. Use promo code BasketballFan to score $75 in bonus entries when you play your first $5. Once again, it's promo code BasketballFan. Underdog. Make picks, win money.
Must be 18 plus. 19 plus in Alabama and Nebraska. 19 plus in Colorado for some games. 21 plus in Arizona, Massachusetts, and Virginia. And present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/play and get terms DFSTML for details. Offer not valid in Maryland, Michigan, New Jersey, New York, Ohio, and Pennsylvania. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org. In New York, call the 24/7 Hope line at 1-878 or text HOMI 467-369.
All right, let's talk about this ridiculous stat line real quick. And I'm only saying ridiculous because Nemhard isn't necessarily a true point guard. He can make his own shots, but he's averaging seven assists this year, which is honestly pretty decent for a guy who's never really played the traditional point guard in the NBA level. He's been a shooting guard since he came into the league because of Halliburton, and he's only really played true point guard whenever Hallie was out, but wasn't averaging this amount of assists. He just dropped 19 assists 2 games after dropping 14 assists. And he's had some big assist games. He had 16 against Miami back in December, which was his original season high. But now he's got 19 assist games. So you're telling me next year we're gonna have two players on the court at the same time that can get you 19 assists whenever. That's what you're telling me. Because Halliburton's gonna come right back and gonna facilitate the game like nothing happened. His shooting might be a little off, but he has been in the gym practicing, which is wonderful. But Andrew Nemhard's been playing. Nemhard could have a full breakout season next year. I mean, he's averaging 17 and 7 this year, which is absurdly better than he usually does. Obviously, a lot more minutes, a lot more the ball's in his hand all the time. Him and Siakam are pretty much carrying the load on this team, especially with Zubac being out now and Halliburton not obviously playing at all this season. I genuinely am so excited to watch Halliburton play again. I miss seeing him on the basketball court. But just wonderful game from Nemhard. I can't expect more than that. He's been just he's been fun to watch. The whole team has been fun to watch, honestly. Even with losing all the games we've lost. I mean, sometimes you just have a lost season. It's just how it goes. But last but not least, keep on losing. But have fun. Like have fun and play the game. I want to watch competitive games. Like I don't just want to watch us get steamrolled like the Wizards do every night. I want to watch like the game last night where we lost by 7 or we won the other day by 2 against the Magic. Games like recently we haven't been losing by too much. Yeah, against the Knicks we lost by 26, Suns we lost by 15, but other games we're losing by 5, 10 points with like not the best lineups out at all. But that just shows that anyone in basketball can do anyone in the NBA can do anything because they're all professional basketball players. But tomorrow we play the Clippers. That's going to be here at home, 7 o'clock. Nothing no injury concerns, nothing crazy. Never know what could happen. Someone might pop up. And then 5 o'clock against the Heat, also here. And then we go kind of like an East um, showdown where we go to Chicago, then Charlotte, then Cleveland in a 5 day span. And then we have a game against Minnesota here, fly out to Brooklyn, then back here against Philadelphia, and then we end the season at 6 o'clock on Sunday, April 12th against Detroit, where hopefully Kate Cunningham's back by then because now that injury is actually ridiculous. But as always, I'm your host, Hery Acosta. Shout out to Underdog Fantasy for sponsoring this video. Boom, baby. And go, sirs.